What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and now we have a Secret Service whistleblower saying there is yet another plot on Trump, as well as brand new footage, which makes it about as incredibly obvious that this clown was on the roof. Make sure you leave a like on this video. This stuff is starting to get memory hold. I know people are still interested in this, and it's wild to me that people still that it's getting pushed down as much as it is. But with your help, just leave a like on the video. And if you haven't yet, subscribe or follow, create an account, follow, subscribe, share the videos. It really matters. Now, let's start with this. Secret Service whistleblower warns of new plot to go after Trump. By the way, if you saw what happened, okay, any idiot who's watching that would know that they're going to try again. I guess that's my opinion. All right. The fact that they got so close so easily, I feel like that would only serve to embolden them to try this again.
A Secret Service counter sniper is predicting another assassination attempt before November. In an email obtained...
Let's actually just go to the email. Let's give the credit to Real Clear Politics. This from Jesse Waters. RCP reports counter sniper wants to blow the whistle on the Secret Service. Why is the FBI acting so sketchy? Well, if you followed this story yesterday, you saw that basically the FBI put out some wild information like, oh, he's actually a right-winger, even though he donated money to Joe Biden, and don't believe that, these are not the droids you're looking for. He's actually a right-winger. We're not going to list the account. We're not going to put the posts out there. We're not going to tell you how we connected it to Lee Tardy Oswald, but just trust us. Look, I'm sure there are some good people in the FBI. I know some of them watch my videos and will email me occasionally. I do believe that, but understand as a non-FBI agent, by the way, FBI was the job I wanted when I was 18 years old. And to prove it, FBI people that watch my videos, you can look it up. I applied to be for your summer internship program when I was like 17, and I filled out the application. Some like general guy called me from Washington D.C. at like 8 in the morning, and I had to do on the application process. You had to basically, if you'd ever enjoyed the devil's lettuce, you weren't allowed in ever once. If you could have dropped acid up to 3 times, but if you'd ever done the devil's lettuce, they wouldn't take you. So I never completed my application, but that's what I wanted. That was my dream job. I wanted to be like Fox Mulder, like a lot of kids my age. I grew up with a favorable view of the FBI. I think that, many people nowadays, it's less favorable because we see it so politicized. Now, maybe that's the way the media twists it or turns it, but there's all sorts of weird stuff that just doesn't make sense. A Secret Service counter sniper is now predicting another attempt on Donald Trump before November. In an email obtained by Real Clear Politics, a Secret Service agent with 20 years experience on the counter sniper team said he's going to blow the whistle until all of his supervisors are fired. The counter sniper says his mission is to prevent another JFK-style incident, and the only reason that hasn't happened is because we've gotten very lucky. Well, I think I would probably agree with that. I mean, this dude just walked right up and fired off unfettered shots at like 80 yards. 80 feet? Wasn't it feet? I can't remember if it was yards or feet. It was extraordinarily close. He says Secret Service leadership is corrupt and states clearly, quote, "We should all expect another attempt to happen before November. We've exposed our inability to protect our leaders due to our leadership. After this email went public, it was wiped off the Secret Service servers. There's a massive cover-up underway, and it spilled over into Congress. After Cheadle resigned, former head, in disgrace, her number 2 got promoted and testified today that the Secret Service screwed up, but the local police, it was all really their fault." I mean, this is the thing. This was outside the barrier, and so the Secret Service is going to say, well, we told them to watch it. We told them to look over it. That's like when you're a boss, okay, and your employee screws up, it's whether or not this is what makes a good coach. I'll make a sports analogy, although not a lot of players. No, I'll make a leadership analogy, okay? Let's say when you're the quarterback, right, on the team, this is what makes a good leader. When you throw a pass and your receiver drops it, and maybe it costs you the game, right? A good leader would say, you know, I could have placed that pass a little bit better. I could have put it a little bit higher, this, that, and the other thing. A bad leader was, well, if he would have just caught the ball, we would have won. This is one of the biggest complaints about Aaron Rodgers, for example, as a Packer fan, you know, like, and as a Rodgers fan. He tended to blame others when things went wrong, even if it's not their fault. As a leader, you take responsibility because they are underneath your wing. Gary Peters, 30 seconds. If it's communicated directly to the counter team, would that be enough time to react prior to firing those shots? Senator, if we had that information, we would have been able to address it more quickly. It appears that the information was stuck or siloed in state and local channels. So he's saying, oh, well, nobody told us. Senator Ron Johnson said, were specific instructions provided to cover the roof of the AGR building and locals just didn't follow it? Or were those instructions not even provided? Now, we know that they did not meet with the Secret Service that day, and they were supposed to have. Rose says, my understanding of what was communicated is that the locals had a plan and that they had been there before. We are looking at this, and they should have been on that roof. And the fact that they were in the building is something I'm still trying to understand. Well, a lot of people might say they were in the building because they wanted it to happen. Now, I'm not going after the local PD because some of the locals have reached out to me. I've not seen any compelling evidence. It seems like the locals are trying hard enough to protect themselves here that they definitely didn't let it happen. The Secret Service set the perimeter, established communication, didn't fly a drone, didn't put up a counter sniper on the roof, and never showed up to brief the locals. The local SWAT commander said the Secret Service never told them to man the roof. I 100% believe that happened. 100% believe that happened. Butler Police. The claim that somehow we were told to be on the roof line, for instance, and that it was too hot is ridiculous. Our snipers are prepared to operate in Western Pennsylvania from anywhere from 10 below to 90 degrees. They are prepared to be wherever they were told to be by the Secret Service that day. I believe local, by the way. I believe the local teams. Why were they flying a drone? I have no explanation for that. People fly drones all over the peripheries of our site, and then we go out and we talk to them and we ascertain what their intentions are on this day in particular because of the connectivity challenge. As you noted, there was a delay and he flew his drone at 3:51. Waters says you can buy a local hotspot for T-Mobile for $20. And not only that, Biden-Harris administration spent $40 billion to wire rural America with internet. And the Secret Service didn't have Wi-Fi in Pennsylvania. Remember after the incident, the FBI said they couldn't find a motive and he was registered Republican? Well, the CEO of Gab, a social media site, has just come forward with data showing that Crooks had an account where he aggressively defended Joe Biden and his border policies and the lockdowns. Does he sound like a Republican to you? To be fair, some Republicans. After this revelation, the FBI came out today and said that, of course, he was a right-winger. I mean, why? If he was so right-wing, why was he going after Trump in the first place? Here's the actual email that was printed and a picture was taken of it. You could see, thank you for backing and support. I'm not stopping until 5 high-level supervisors, 1 down, are either fired or removed from their current positions. The agency needs change, and if not now, when? The next attempt in 30 days? Because we should all expect another attempt to happen before November. We expose our inability to protect our leaders. I know many look at the CS team as the guys who sit on the roof and don't do much. But our responsibility, our mission is not about protecting an empty White House located at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. It's about preventing and stopping another JFK-style incident. Some of us take our job and responsibility seriously, deadly serious. I may be overzealous, but after 7 years in the Marine Corps as an NCO and 20 years on the Secret Service counter-sniper team, failure is not an option. And on 7/13, we failed. Not because of commitment or sense of dedication, but because our supervisors, aka leadership, knew better and thought our concerns were less important. The motto of the U.S. Secret Service is CYA. That's like cover your rear end. On top of this now, we can see new footage coming out from let's say, and wokeness, rather give him the credit than the guy that just steals everybody else's videos. Holy smokes. There he is in plain sight. How the F did they miss him? Here, this is video, from what I understand and what I'm being told, this is actually video from somebody who was a victim on that day. You could see him running on the roof right here. You could see him running on the roof right there. And by the way, the sight line of the counter sniper team would have been higher. This is from ground level. So we're supposed to believe that nobody saw this guy? I mean, look at him up. He's up there for a long time. He disappears there for a second. And then wait. There he is. He pops up again and lays down. Look how close he is. He's standing right there. Nobody saw him? There's 100 Secret Service agents standing behind Donald Trump. Nobody saw him? I don't think it was a mistake. I don't think it was a mistake. You know, this had to be an inside job. No one is this incompetent. They didn't miss him. They allowed him to get up there. The question that needs to be asked and answered is, why the F did they do that? Yeah, we already know exactly why. They didn't miss him. They saw him. They knew he was there. They allowed him to do it. You see, after watching the testimony of Secret Service director, it's clear the Secret Service was complicit. The state sponsored the removal attempt against Donald Trump. That's what I believe. That's absolutely what I believe. You know, new video from Trump rally attempt shows eerie figure running across the rooftop minutes before it rang out. So they had minutes to address this guy running around, diving, dip, dive, dodge, and dunking on the roof. Nobody said anything. This is from somebody who was injured, I believe. Like, it is so wild to me. And he only missed by like an inch. If he hadn't turned his head, that was it. Some of the comments. I'm generally not a follower of various conspiracy theories, but it looks like we have two choices. Either we believe it was a conspiracy to take Trump out, or that the Secret Service is really that incompetent. I mean, it's possible. It could be like security theater, like the TSA. I don't know. But this new footage is very, very bad. You know, of course, this only fortifies my opinion that this was let to happen. If you made it this far in the video, please leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, take a moment to subscribe or follow me down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.